Korma is a recipe that we're all very familiar with. Now, instead of going down to a supermarket and buying a jar or going to your local restaurant, I'm going to try and change your whole perception of it and show you just how simple it is to make. It's literally going to take us about 30 minutes, and we'll start off by chopping up some of those simple ingredients. A little bit of garlic and just a little bit of fresh ginger. Always love putting fresh ginger in when you're making a curry. I really think it just gives that sort of really distinctive, strong taste. Same thing with the chili, nice thin slices. I'm not going to go too heavy on the chilies because korma really is known as a sort of light, mild curry. And we want to keep those onions pretty whole, so we're just going to give it a rough chop. You're not looking for anything too small here. So, all our lovely fragrant vegetables ready. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to heat up our wok. Into the wok goes vegetable oil. Now you could at this stage use ghee, which is like clarified butter, but I'm just trying to really keep this simple for you today so that it's very readily available ingredients. So, generous with the oil. Wait till it comes up to a nice temperature. You really want to cook these things quite fast. So you're looking for a little smoking temperature in there. That's just about it, and you'll hear the sizzle. That's what you're looking for. So, in they go. Now, because of that high heat, it's very important that you keep it moving at this stage. It would have a tendency, especially the garlic, to burn quite quickly. So just constantly moving those around. I'm also going to prep up my chicken breasts. So, little chunks. Try and keep them uniform in size, because what we're trying to do with the chicken is we want to cook it, but we want to make sure that it cooks evenly. So that if you keep them nice and uniform in size, that's what will happen. Next thing we're going to start doing is adding in some of those flavorings that you'd associate with korma. So, first up, a little bit of ground coriander. We're also going to add in turmeric, which will give it a very distinct flavour and that lovely colour. And then last but not least, garam masala. What we're doing here is we're trying to cook out the spices. Some people might jump to the next stage a little bit too quick, and what you get is that sort of little raw taste from the spice. So by generously taking our time over that sort of high temperature, we'll cook those spices out. At this stage, I'm actually going to turn that temperature down ever so slightly, just as we have a little bit more control over it. Next ingredient to go in there, tomato puree. Moving it around at this stage continuously, because the tomato puree would have that tendency to sort of stick to the bottom. Really good aromas coming off that, and it's just about time to add in that chicken. So what we're looking to do at this stage is just seal that chicken in so it stays really nice and juicy, constantly moving it around. Now the most important part of the korma. This is where we're talking about heat control. So I really want to turn it down to a very, very low temperature. What we want to do is when we add in this yogurt and the coconut milk, we want it to simmer away really, really gently for about half an hour, 40 minutes. If you've got that temperature too high, that's going to curdle on you, the yogurt. So turn it right down as low as you can. Just mix that all up. You've got to keep this stirred all the time. Just loosen it up from the bottom of the pan every couple of minutes, and I guarantee you, if you follow those simple steps, you're going to end up with a really good korma. Now, that's been on for another 15 minutes, and you can see that the sauce is just thickened up ever so slightly. I can tell that that chicken is just really moist and tender in there. If you're not 100% sure yourself, just take a little piece out, cut it in half, and make sure it's white all the way through. So, I'm going to turn the heat off on that. I'm just going to add in a couple of extra little flavorings. First up, coriander. Just very, very roughly chopped. In that goes. And now, almonds. Not everybody would add almonds. I just think they add a really nice texture and a little extra dimension and flavour. So, in they go. And just stir those in gently. Very important that you do this at the absolute last minute. Now to serve that up, I'm just going to go with a little bit of rice. So just spoon, generous amount of the meat. and the sauce over the rice. You can see that coriander, still nice vivacious green colour. There's lovely textures and flavours in there. And now you can see just how simple it is to make a chicken korma. There's absolutely no point going out to a restaurant and spending loads of money. Invite all your friends over, you too can now make chicken korma.